You ever notice how a neighborhood barbecue can turn into something you'd see on TV? A cop car, a meltdown, and the kind of plot twist that leaves everybody whispering over the fence for weeks? Well, let me tell you how it went down this summer. Karen tried to get me kicked out of my own backyard and ended up burning down more than just a few bridges. Because sometimes the real fireworks come long after the grill goes cold, and sometimes the hero of the story isn't who you thought it was. It started with smoke. Good smoke, the kind that makes your stomach growl and neighbors wander over just to check the mail. I was out there, spatula in hand, friends laughing, ribs sizzling on the grill when the officer showed up. Not a word, just the crunch of his boots on my driveway and that slow scan around the yard. Karen was right behind him. Yeah, the Karen, the self-declared queen of our HOA, standing there with her arms crossed, so hard you'd think she was holding her insides together. You could see the gotcha in her eyes. I could practically hear her thinking, I've finally nailed him, the backyard menace. I braced for it. Everybody got quiet, except for the hissing grill. The officer took one big whiff. Then he grinned and said, "That smells amazing. What are you cooking?" If you ever want to see someone swallow their own tongue, just watch a Karen lose control of a situation in real time. She blinked at him like he'd started speaking French. And I knew right then, whatever she'd planned, it wasn't going to play out the way she wanted. But trust me, none of us guessed just how wild that day would get, or how that simple cookout would turn the whole neighborhood upside down. But let me back up a sec. You got to know how this started. Friday morning, sun shining, grass freshly cut. I figured it'd be a shame to let the weekend slip by without firing up the smoker. Nothing crazy, just some friends, burgers, a rack or two of ribs, maybe a few kids chasing bubbles. My grandma's cornbread recipe was going to make an appearance. In a normal place, that's called living. In an HOA, that's an act of rebellion. I should have known. Just as I'm hauling the smoker out, there she was. Clipboard, floral sun hat, sunglasses, striding over like she was about to write me a ticket for smiling. "What's all this?" she snapped, not even trying to fake the neighborly thing. "Just a little barbecue, Karen." You could hear her jaw lock. A barbecue? That's an event. You need HOA approval. Section 4, paragraph 2. No gatherings over 6 without notice. I almost laughed. It's just me and a few friends. She scribbled something down. "I'll be watching," she said, spinning away, probably already drafting a manifesto for the board. Did I check the rules? Twice. Was there anything about a barbecue on your own property? Not a word. So I texted my people, "Barbecue at my place, bring your appetite." The next day, folks rolled in, laughter mixing with smoke, music drifting from speaker, kids running wild. The kind of Saturday that makes you remember why you moved into a neighborhood in the first place. Then came Karen, standing across the street, phone out, filming everything, the grill, the guests, even the dog. "Is she filming us?" Tyler asked, probably for the sequel to her last HOA PowerPoint. I joked, but honestly, I wasn't really joking. Minutes later, she vanished inside. "Think she's calling the board?" Tyler grinned. Wouldn't be the first time. But this time she called the cops. 20 minutes later, sirens. A police cruiser, lights off, rolls to a stop. Everybody froze. Karen's back on the sidewalk, arms crossed, pointing my way like she's directing traffic. The officer steps out, checks the crowd, then walks up, slow and steady. "Afternoon, folks, got a call about a disturbance." Before I could say a word, Karen's on him. "He's hosting an unauthorized event. It's against HOA rules." He nods politely, then turns to me. "You live here?" "Yep." "All on your property?" "Just a barbecue." He leans in, takes a deep sniff, grins. "Smells pretty good. Secret recipe." I say, just loud enough for Karen to hear. She nearly exploded. "Officer, I demand you do something." He ignores her, nods at the grill. "You got enough for one more?" Her mouth fell open so fast I almost felt sorry for her, almost. The yard erupted in laughter. Officer grabs a rib, takes a bite, and says, "Ma'am, this might be the best disturbance call I've ever had." Karen stormed off, but that wasn't the end. Not even close. Because later that night, as the sky turned gold and folks started heading home, I got 3 hard knocks on my door. Bang, bang, bang. "Expecting anyone?" Tyler asked. I shook my head. I open the door, and there's nobody, just the porch light shining. Then I hear a throat clear, and Karen steps out from behind a bush like some kind of HOA goblin, clutching a stack of papers. "You're being fined for holding an unauthorized event," she announces, waving papers like a flag. Tyler cracks up. "It was a cookout, Karen." She ignores him. Section 4, paragraph 2, doesn't apply. I cut in. I read it. It's about HOA organized events. This was just me and some friends. She smiles that evil little smile. "That's for the board to decide. You'll get your letter tomorrow." As she leaves, she mutters, "You'll regret embarrassing me like that." Next morning, sure enough, there's an envelope taped to my door, bright red sticker, urgent. It accuses me of everything but treason. Fine, $500. If I keep it up, legal action or property restrictions. I laughed until I read the thread at the end. Legal action over ribs? I muttered. Tyler texted, "Bro, check the group chat." Karen's at it again. She'd posted pictures from the cookout, labeled us community rule breakers, tagged me everywhere. The comments? Some people were with her. Most weren't. One line caught my eye. The officer was clearly biased. "I'll be reporting this to the president and the county." It was a circus. I decided right then I was fighting this. I spent the night digging through the HOA handbook, highlighter in hand, until I knew it better than the board. Guess what? No rule against a private barbecue. The next day, I brought everything, handbook, screenshots, even the officer's statement, to the HOA office. The president, Mr. Williams, was decent about it. Karen tried to shout me down, but I pointed out the rule. Williams read it, then smiled. "He's right. Fine dismissed, Mr. Davis. And next time, save me a plate." Karen stormed out, but that victory didn't last a day. Because the next morning, my trash can was spray-painted "Rules Matter," mailbox dented, garbage all over the street. Nobody saw anything but "Come on." Tyler said, "Install a camera." She's not letting go. I did, but things got weirder. Mail missing, sprinklers going off in the night, even my dog barking at shadows. Then one night I caught her. There she was in her robe, floral hat, crouched by my mailbox at midnight, taking pictures. I yelled, "Karen, what on earth are you doing?" She jumped up, flashlight in hand. "Routine HOA safety check at midnight. Some of us take our duties seriously," she snapped, before Bruno barked her right off the property. I got her on camera a few nights later, sneaking around, sliding a note under my gate. "This neighborhood doesn't belong to you. Learn the rules or move out." I took it straight to the police. The same officer from before looked at the footage. "That's trespassing, maybe harassment," he said. When Karen found out, she posted in the HOA chat, "Some people think they can threaten board members. The HOA protects its own." A blurry picture of me walking into the police station. My phone buzzed. "You made a big mistake calling the cops on me." Now it was personal. Then came the blackout. Whole street goes dark. No warning, no flicker. I see Karen out there, flashlight in hand, checking who's got a generator. When her beam hits my house, she freezes, then says, "You're ruining this neighborhood." I tell her, "Go home, Karen." She doesn't move. Bruno barks. She flinches, then threatens to call animal control. I snap. "Go home before I call the police again." She storms off. 20 minutes later, the power's back, but my gate's wide open, muddy footprints by the fence, cameras offline for those exact 20 minutes. New note on the patio table. "Next time, it won't just be your lights that go out." Tyler freaked. "Dude, she's dangerous now." I called the officer again, handed him the note, the footage. He said he'd file a formal warning. That seemed to slow her down until I found my security camera ripped off the wall, wires dangling, a red ribbon, and another note. "Maybe you should stop recording and start listening." Tyler came over, took one look, and said, "She's losing it." I called the officer. 10 minutes later, blue lights are lighting up the street. And for the first time, Karen's the one being questioned. "Ma'am, you've been mentioned in multiple reports of harassment and trespassing." She tries to bluff. "I'm doing my duty." But he's got footage. At 12:30 in the morning. Silence. She slams her door, and he tells me, "One more incident will escalate." That should have ended it. But then Karen struck legally. I got an official letter, signed by Karen, summoning me to an HOA hearing about my continued eligibility for membership. The meeting was packed. Even neighbors who never showed up came to see the showdown. Karen went on about my supposed violations, but I handed out my own evidence. Vandalism, threats, police reports, even her own handwriting. Mr. Williams looked at her and said, "As of now, you are suspended from all HOA duties pending investigation." She stormed out, but I knew she wasn't done. That night, a fire broke out by my fence. Someone tried to burn down my yard with a red gas can, car scribbled on the side. We put it out just in time. The cops found her pacing inside her house, screaming as they led her out in cuffs. Arson, harassment, trespassing. I thought, finally it's over. But the next morning, I got a note. "You took everything from her. Now you'll know how it feels." Burnt piece of my fence taped to the paper. And someone, maybe Hensley, her old ally, was watching me from Karen's old window. Tyler and I kept watch, and sure enough, a few nights later, Hensley was back, trying to torch Karen's place. We caught him on camera, called the cops, and they found HOA files in his trunk. Every complaint, every fine, every lie Karen ever wrote about me, about the neighborhood. Turns out, Karen had been digging into missing HOA funds, and Hensley was behind it all, embezzlement, fraud, the works. Karen had been set up, and I'd been her unwitting pawn. She even left me a letter, hidden in her house, found by the county. If you're reading this, I failed to stop them. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was trying to protect this place. Hensley's been stealing for years, and when I got close, he used you to distract me. If anything happens to me, look in the foundation. Trust no one from the board, not even Williams. We found her hidden stash, bank statements, emails, everything. The cops arrested Hensley and Williams, shut down the HOA, and suddenly, the whole neighborhood was apologizing for ever siding with Karen. We rebuilt the fence, cleaned up the mess, and had the first real block party in ages. Everyone there, even the officer with his potato salad. So, if you're watching this, drop your city in the comments. Tell me where you're from, tell me your HOA horror stories, and let's talk about what justice really means. Because sometimes the real villains are the ones hiding in plain sight, and sometimes the hero isn't the one you expect. Sometimes she's the one driving you crazy, just trying to do the right thing. And sometimes all it takes is a barbecue to bring the truth out into the light.